Hey, I'm Joe Richter, also known as Amanda Bone. I do drag on Tuesdays at Valentine's Nightclub. And we're sitting here and he's going to do an interview with me and ask me a couple of questions. And I guess we're just going to get it started.
Okay, now when you dress in drag, are you in compliance with subordination oriented to accommodating interests and desires of men? When you dress in drag,
Do I dress to the specifications of what men think is sexy?
yes.
And I don't. When I do drag, I do pad and do things to look more feminine so that a man would think I'm feminine, but I dress to what I think is pretty in women. I wear pads and I'm more curvy than an average woman. I don't think that dressing like a woman necessarily makes me subordinate or compliant to anything. I don't think that being a woman should necessarily give you that thought in your head that being a woman is like less than being a man or whatever. I dress to the compliance of myself, what I think looks good or feminine. You know what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily go for society's specifications of what make women sexy, because I'm not even in drag, I'm not what you would call an average woman. I'm 6'2". I weigh close to 220 pounds, and like my measurements in drag is not a proportionate like woman. Like, I'm a little bigger than
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine.
I just feel like I have to talk like a man to be RuPaul's next drag superstar.
In drag, are there some individuals who are considered less than acceptable? Like, are they viewed like as too masculine or too feminine or?
In the drag community, there are a bunch of different terms for drag queens. I myself am a masculine boy during the day. I live my life as a boy. I have no desire to become a woman. So I'm considered a boy queen, which means I live my life as a boy, but I dress to the specifications of being a drag queen. Like, I dress up as a woman and perform. There's also ones that we call titty queens, which are in transition to be transgender with like plastic surgeries that have boobs and hip silicone and things like that. We call them titty queens or transgendered. And then we have androgynous or gender, we call it gender fuck, but gender bending, which is where they paint themselves kind of feminine and crazy but don't wear titties or pads. Just like they don't tuck so you can see everything. It's like more of a confusion gender thing, and that's how I started out. And they call that like club kid, androgynous, diva thing. And we also have folk queens, which are girls that usually hang out with drag queens or performers who get done up in drag makeup and things like that. And it's not that they're less acceptable. I mean, it's not considered a form, it's not considered the art that it is for us to do. Like for me, being a man, shaving and doing whatever, women are born with the curves and the parts, so it's not as much of an accepted, but it's more of an art form for people who live their life as a boy to do this as an art. Like, this isn't just for fun, it's not for anything other than as a job for me to make money and an art, because I like to be able to do that transformation and to still have that. I mean, I know that I'm bigger than a normal average woman, but to still have that feminine features and things like that. So I mean, there are less than desired different ones, and the more masculine ones that try to do it are a lot less accepted. When you have broad shoulders and you're more masculine and muscly, it's not as accepted as if you had the more feminine features, because they're very noticeable. We call it clocking. Like, if you would see me walking down the road as opposed to you in drag, they would know that you're a man. They might have to second guess for me. So that would be less accepted, because you want to perfect that art as to any art. But there's different types of drag. There is camp drag, where the more manly ones that aren't as accepted as female impersonators do funny things, like wild green hair, funny costumes, things like that. The more masculine ones are put into a different category. But I myself am very masculine. It's taken me a long time with a lot of help from other drag queens. Like, I have a drag mother who helps me learn everything and teaches me different ways to do stuff. Because it is hard to walk in heels, and you have a certain way of doing things when you try to be more feminine. But once like lashes and hair and hip pads and titties are put in, it gives you a more like mindset to do that. Like, I don't feel fully feminine until I have on pads, lashes, and hair. But once that is done, it like seals the deal and completes the package. I'm a whole nother person. That is a character that I do. Like me, myself, and then once the lashes and stuff are on, I turn into a whole nother person. I guess it would be like being an actor or something like that. You get into that character.